So today we're going to go over how to enter in time for our time card into Fieldpoint. First I'm going to sign in with my test user here. And as you notice, there's going to be a new home screen. This is called Appointment Manager, and this is where we're going to enter in our time for our time cards on this screen. It's going to default to your username, so you'll see only your time cards, and the time cards on a weekly basis. So this is the week starting May 31st, 2020. And if you want to go to a previous week, you would click this arrow here. You'll go to May 24th and go back to future weeks. You click on this arrow to go forward. And as soon as you enter in time for the week, it'll create a time card number and it'll change it to entered status. So let's get started on how to enter in some time. First, there's these two menu options, these appointments and there's favorites. Favorites are the ones that we're going to use to enter in our time. Then as we hit save data, it'll move up under appointments and turn green. So let's go through that. So there's a few options here that we could choose from. The main three options right here, number 1 is field start shift, number 2 is lunch, and number 3 field end shift. These are the three that we're going to most likely use the most. So let's get started on that. So let's enter in some time for the second. So we're going to go with our start shift. When we're starting our shift right here, we're going to enter in the open details. You left click and go to open details. It'll default to a 7:30 a.m. start time every day, every time. So we're going to go in there, and if that's not the correct time, we're going to adjust that. Say we started at 9 o'clock today. We're going to do that, and then we're going to put in our time, our end time. If we know our end time, we could enter it like this. Or we could always enter in our labor hours right here, and it'll calculate the end time for us. So you'll see it goes to military time, so once it goes to 1400, that's 2 o'clock. So we're going to go in there, and then we can enter in a description, and we'll hit save. So you got to remember your end time. So we ended at 1400. So that was our start shift, and then we're going to take our lunch at 1400. So we could go right here and enter in our lunch, or as you see this is red. If you wanted to hit save data, it would move up this row and put it here and save it green, or you could do all three entries first. I'm going to do all the entries right now. So I'm going to go to my lunch, open detail, and our start time is going to be 1400 because you remember that's when we ended our last shift. And if we want to do 30 minutes of lunch, we have to do 0:30. For 45 minutes, it would be 45. 15 minutes are 15. There is no 0.75s in here. So we're going to do 30 minutes, :30, and we can put in our lunch and hit save, and there's your 30 minutes for lunch. And now all we need is our time after lunch. So left click, go to open detail, and you got to remember your end time. After lunch, it was 14:30. So we could go in here, hit our work. Let's say we did another 5 hours after lunch. It'll calculate the end time for us and go to 19:30. And we're going to hit save. So there's our time for the day. We did 5 hours to start. We did a 30 minutes lunch, and then we did 5 hours after. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the save data up here. It'll move these entries up to appointments menu and turn it green. And you'll see that you'll also have your job entries in here. So it could get a little bunched up and a little confusing, but what we need to focus on are these ones that are called time card right here as a service code. These are the time card entries that we're entering in. So let's go over this last selection here. This one gives you some options to make a selection. You click on this drop down arrow and you'll be given the options of PTO, training, jury duty, leave, and bereavement. So out of these options we might be doing some PTO. So let's try it. Let's do a PTO entry. It'll switch the task number to 4, and if you forget which number it is or what the description is, you could always click this drop down again. You'll see 4 is PTO, and then we're going to enter in some PTO for Wednesday the 3rd. So you got to stay on the same row, left click, go to open details, and our start time could be 7:30. That's fine, and we'll do 8 hours. Vacation for Wednesday the 3rd. We'll hit save. You'll see that it's still in red, so we're going to hit the save data up here, and you'll see we got a row of PTO 8 hours on Wednesday the 3rd. let's see how to make this menu option your favorite. It's going to be our home page. But to make pages your favorites, what you do is go click over here, this drop down, and you just click on favorite. And now this form is going to be a favorite. When you click on this home button, you click on this form, it'll go back to your appointment manager and it'll be your favorite. And then in our subsequent videos, I'm going to make a video how to review our timesheet and how to submit our timesheet. And that is all for entering time. Thank you.